Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We're going to talk about VEX and Vexchange and how high could VEX actually reach. This definitely could be the hidden gem that I'm actually looking at. You can see that there's the VEX price right now is 6.607 from farm.vexchange.com. The APR has come down from 290 to 170, but that's to be expected as more and more VEX VET pairs join the pool size. That was basically inevitable because people were going to want to yield farm with VEX. Obviously, an APR of 170 is pretty attractive. Even an APR of 70, honestly, is pretty attractive, and it'll take a while to come down that much. But how much can VEX actually reach? We're going to go by some numbers based on other things. We're going to look at Uniswap and PancakeSwap because those are the two main dexes for Ethereum and BNB. Obviously, I can't really look at Cardano or Polkadot because their dexes aren't really a thing yet. They haven't gone live yet. Whereas VET, BNB, and Ethereum have actually gone live. So let's actually take a look at some of the numbers. So VET is about $11 billion in market cap. ETH is roughly $560 billion in market cap. So that's a ratio of 50 to 1. BNB has a market cap of $100 billion and Pancake has a market cap of 4.5. So that ratio is 22.5 to 1. So what we can actually easily see here is that the smaller the project is, the bigger the ratio is of the market cap of the DEX to the actual project. So extrapolating that down to VeChain, VeChain is much, much smaller than BNB, about 10 times smaller. So you can actually see maybe VeChain will have a ratio of 10 to 1 or 12 to 1 between the DEX and the overall project. And that's kind of makes sense if you think about it, because the bigger a project is, the more other non-DEX projects that are actually on the project. And plus, Ethereum has more than one DEX, so there's always some competition. VeChain, for all I know, doesn't really have any more DEXs. This is the only one, so there's not the competition, and there's less projects on VeChain overall to compete with, the DEX and the governance token to actually invest in and stake. So the thing is, VeChain's ratio should actually be much smaller than BNB. So I'm just going to go with, 10 to 1 for easy calculation purposes. Ethereum's 50 to 1. BNB is 22.5 to 1. VeChain should be 10 to 1 because the ecosystem is actually much, much smaller. There's not as many projects on it, so people will want to stake in VEX. They'll probably lock up a lot of tokens there. And there's just going to be a lot of buzz around VEX for VET. So due to that, VEX's market cap, if it's 10 to 1, should be about 1.1 billion. So what's VEX's market cap right now? That's actually quite hard to determine. I've actually looked at this, and it really depends how many of these VEX tokens are out right now. Overall, there's actually around 100 million VEX. Well, there's 100 million VEX tokens. But the thing is, just like Uniswap, they're not all released yet. You have to base it on how many of these coins are actually released, not like the entire supply that might be out there in 2 or 3 years. Because generally prices do tend to follow what's out there, and not there's a psychological barrier of how many are actually out, how many total there will be, but it's generally how many there are out there, and that's kind of what the price actually follows. So my guess is the $50 million treasury is locked with a 2-year vesting, 20 million founders, 2-year vesting, 20 million future team members, 2 years vesting, 5 million retroactive airdrop, no vesting, and 5 years. So this 10 million is actually out there. This 10 million is actually out there. So there's at least 10 million, but I'm going to guess there's about 30 million out right now. And the rest is going to slowly flow out. So based on the 30 million right now, you have roughly $195 million market cap. And if you actually base it on the ratio I just said, 10 to 1, the optimal market cap would be 1.1 billion. Now, this is if VeChain doesn't increase in price. So you still got about a 5x increase from here. So right now the price is 6.5. So you would actually see roughly maybe $32 for VEX. If you count the 30 million supply there actually right now. Now, Uniswap has about 62% of its coins out there right now. So if we count by Uniswap's total versus what's actually out there, you'd have 60 million out there. So this expected market cap would basically decrease in half. Or this expected price would actually decrease in half because there's twice as many coins out there. So you get like a $16, $17 VEX. And I think that actually is a reasonable number if you actually look at like how big VEX is in terms of the VeChain ecosystem, how big VeChain is, and how all that works out. Now, if obviously if VEX reaches Uniswap's market cap, it's going to be like over $100. But obviously, it's not going to do that because Ethereum is so much bigger than VET right now. Now, if VET rises in the bull run, VEX should definitely rise in the bull run as well. And you might see those $100 prices, especially if like VeChain, let's say, gets to $1, then VeChain's market cap would be $100 billion. And then, like VEX's market cap should match SushiSwap's market cap, which would put it at like, $45, $50 per coin. So right now, there's still a lot of money to be made, even if VET doesn't move. I expect VEX to have a lot of volatility, so you can have fun just kind of like swing trading it between VEX and VET, obviously. But I do actually believe like, a good price, maybe like at the top right now would be $16.5 to $17. And I don't think that's like, I don't think that's overly high for a market cap for VET, because remember, like, even though there's 100 million out there, and $16.5 to $17 would only put it at $1.6 billion market cap, $1.7 billion, which wouldn't be too much. But because there's only 60 million out there, that would still put it under $1 billion market cap, even at $16.5 to $17. And I think like under $1 billion market cap slightly is not that big of a market cap for VET and VEX to reach. So if VET doesn't move, I would say $16.5 to $17. If VET reaches like, let's say $1, I could see like something in the $40, $50 range. So that's kind of like how I see VEX. Let me know if you agree, like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.